So, folks, I know a lot of people are burned out. I know things seem really bad right now. Every single day, more bullshit piles on top of itself until there's just a seemingly endless mountain of bullshit. However, not everything is bad. And in fact, a lot of the resistance we're seeing in the courts is working. Okay?
You know that I do not have Sokka's moolah, but I love you and want to support you. Can we do Dono Ghost?
Maybe later. But thank you for the $5 dono, Johnny Ramo. And also, hey, hit the like button, comment, subscribe, do the things. You know, it helps the channel. Do them, please. But before that, let's get through the video, okay? So, number one, a bunch of rulings came down today that are unambiguously huge wins, okay? Unambiguously huge wins. Number one, another judge, a second judge, has found that the Alien Enemies Act... Oh, this is the wrong page. My bad. There we go. Second judge has found that the Alien Enemies Act has been illegally used and therefore will be blocked on a second basis, per a judge in the Colorado case against the Alien Enemies deportations. It's really great. The more a second judge has hit the ruling, exactly, Travesty, which is great because the more judges come out against this, the harder it's going to be for them to push forward because they're going to have to fight along multiple fronts. It's a difficult thing to do. And they don't have a whole lot of guys working for them anymore because a bunch of people are quitting like every goddamn day from the Justice Department. So that's great. But also in good news, hey, remember how the Trump administration did a bunch of executive orders targeting libraries and museums and like the agency that helps like minorities build small businesses? Well, a judge has basically thrown those out too. A judge found today that probably violates the APA, Take Care Clause, and separation of powers, and that's great because that means these cases get injunctive relief. That means the executive orders targeting them are basically put on hold until they are likely found to be fully unconstitutional. So that's really great news, especially for our librarians and our museums. I want our libraries and museums to stay intact, please. It'd be really, really nice. And on top of that, folks, there was a really scary court filing that came down, not court filing, really scary executive order that was coming down the pipeline that would have required, and we talked about this on stream like maybe a couple weeks ago, that would require documentation for voters. Like every voter would have to produce, a valid government ID in order to vote in federal elections. And that sucks and would disenfranchise literally millions of people. However, the Department of Justice is apparently not appealing the judge's order that blocks that particular executive order regarding elections. So basically, it's not happening. You will not be required to show federal ID when we go to vote in 2026 or 2028. At least not via this mechanism anyway. So, sorry for hitting the microphone. So, huge win there, okay? It's actually critical that happened in order to maintain our systems of the like democratic checks and balances. Without this, the chances of Donald Trump being able to maintain power go up quite a bit. But now, ball's in our court. We have an advantage there. Okay? one of the not so great legal rulings that came down today is that the Supreme Court has allowed the trans military ban to go into effect. This is not the end of the case, however. This is merely a really shitty ruling from the Supreme Court that basically just says, hey, while we're deciding the legality of this in court...
That is wonderful news. Here is some money. Keep finding good news, please.
One-Eyed Heathen, thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate it. But basically, the ruling from the Supreme Court today is not the end of the case. All the ruling today means is that while this continues to get settled in court, that the military can resume firing and relieving trans people and service members of duty. And that is going to be rough. That is going to suck. And that is going to cause a lot of suffering, to say the least. That being said, the Supreme Court could still find in favor of trans people by the time we get to the end of this. It's not a great sign, but it's also not the end-all, be-all of what's happening here. Also, just to throw this out there, the Trump White House is in disarray. They are not doing so hot, to say the least. And one of the things that has really come to the forefront in the last couple of days is that they really screwed up by firing a bunch of air traffic controllers. They really, really screwed up. And that's going to come back to help us, folks, because people are starting to notice how dicey our airplane landings and takeoffs are these days. People are starting to notice that. And they're not a huge fan of it, actually. And, well, the Trump administration has this novel idea that basically instead of hiring back the people they fired, they are going to just train new ones in 4 months. They're just... Before, it took years to train as an air traffic controller to make sure you were able to do your job perfectly. But their new idea is get trained in 4 months to be an air traffic controller. And also, you know, if you're planning to retire as an air traffic controller, why not just Why not just stay on for a few more years? We'll give you massive bonuses. They did a press conference about this the other day, like, oh, we'll give you massive bonuses. It's a great job. You can make over $100,000 a year. And like, something you should all know about air traffic controllers, I think like the mandatory retirement age is like 55 or 56. Like, it's a high stress job and it requires you to be on your toes every moment you are there, because if you're not, people could die. And they're now saying, you know, sure, we have a mandatory retirement age, but what if we just waived that and you just kept working until you were 60 or 65 or 70? What's the worst that could happen? And like, now they're trying another bold strategy here, which is to point a finger at literally anyone other than themselves for, you know, the obvious consequences of their own actions. Like, you know, it's not our fault that we fired our air traffic controllers and now we have too few air traffic controllers and more of them are retiring by the day. No. It's Joe Biden's fault.
But it's kind of mind-blowing to think about. In the Infrastructure Act that passed in the Biden administration, $5 billion in funding was to upgrade the foundation of the FAA's air traffic control. Then you look at the money that goes to DOT, $545 billion over the last 5 years. How in the Lord's name, can all that money not give us something better than a floppy disk system?
Yeah, so first off, I know everyone's shocked that the system is so old and antiquated, but it wasn't shocking to Joe Biden and it wasn't shocking to Pete Buttigieg. They knew we had an old system. They saw the GAO report saying it was about to fail. And so the largest infrastructure package, Martha, ever known to man in the history of the world, the infrastructure bill under Joe Biden, $1.2 trillion. They sent only $5 billion to fix.
You know what's really rich about this? Republicans slashed that bill. Like Republicans demanded deep cuts to this bill. You know, like, yeah, the bill wasn't big enough. Yeah, well, why was that? Why? Hey, Republicans, why was that? Was it because your lawmakers insisted it get cut?
Air traffic control. And of the $5 billion, Pete Buttigieg spent less than $1 billion to fix this problem. Instead, he was focused on racist roads and changing the name of cockpit to flight deck or airman to aeronaut.
What the fuck? They spent too much money renaming the cockpit. That's where cocks belong. You've got the mosh pit in the back and the cockpit in the front.
Stupid stuff. And so now, as the Trump administration has come in, it was shortly after DCA, Martha, I started digging into the FAA and realized it wasn't just one small part of the infrastructure. It was the whole infrastructure that had to be built brand new. And so
I just love the way that ended, and I wanted to share it all with you. Like, Biden put too much money into renaming it the flight deck from cockpit. Remember the good old days when we could call it a cockpit? Remember that? I remember. God. I don't know. These people are all obsessed with one thing, and it will blow your mind. He looked confused and concerned. He'd never seen a bigger cockpit in his life. Wait, who cares if airman was changed to aeronaut? Aeronaut is cool. That's a objectively cooler name than airman. Right? Like, am I wrong? What are you? Like, oh, what do you do? I'm an aeronaut. Like, that sounds cool as shit. Cocktois, spit on that thing. Aeronaut sounds like steampunk, doesn't it? It sounds like you put on like an old-timey diving suit in order to get into your, I don't know, your like steampunk mecha that flies through the air. But Jack doesn't have man in it, so I feel emasculated. It is funny that like all these men on in conservative circles are obsessed with having the word man in things, you know, like they're all obsessed in conservative circles with not seeming gay, but they all insist on having men inside of them, you know? It's weird, right? Have I seen the Rocketeer? The Rocketeer is a masterpiece. I want to watch aeronautical porn. We just talked about it. The Rocketeer. It's so good. Can we just talk about how fucking good the Rocketeer was just for a split second? You know, on the note of like aeronaut being really fun and cool. If none of you have seen the Rocketeer, here, this will blow your mind. All right.
To some, it was the fulfillment of a dream. To others, it was an instrument of destruction. A creation that could change the course of history.
It was stolen from my factory. Where's the package? This is the FBI! What do we tell the president?
Tell me exactly why this merchandise is so important to the feds.
It's a rocket. A rocket?
What? What's the matter?
I don't know. Something under the seat.
Oh, my. What do we got here? What are you supposed to do? Is it a bomb or something?
No.
I wouldn't touch that if I were you. How do I look? Like a hood ornament. Stand clear. What was that?
A flying man!
It's so fucking good.
Yeah, go for it.
Are you trying to kill yourself? I like it. Uh-oh, we got company.
You steer, I'll push. Well, what?
I'm on that rocket, Eddie. Not next week, not tomorrow. Now.
Keep your eyes open for this dame.
Jenny's in trouble.
They're working for a Nazi agent.
With an army equipped with these, you could rule the world.
Cliff! You touch one hair on her head, I swear I'll...
Shoot him! We've got the girl. The rocket will come to us.
I love her, Peeve. Does she know that? She's gonna find out.
Let him have it! Hand over the rocket!
The Rocketeer.
Go get him, kid.
This movie, this isn't okay. This is the Rocketeer. 10 out of 10 movie. This is like, if you want like quintessential, like superhero movie, this is so refreshing and good. Yeah, it's a popcorn treat. It really is. You know, like this is a movie-ass movie. And I hope you all understand what I mean when I say that. And it holds up. This movie holds up so well. It's so good. And I'm not even saying that from a point of like nostalgia. I never saw the Rocketeer as a kid. I saw it as an adult, and it is fucking sublime. All right? Just a mild-mannered, like, rural guy stumbles on a jetpack in the 1930s and goes and fights some goddamn Nazis. And you know what? That's what more movies should be about, all right? More movies should be about fighting goddamn fascist assholes, even here on American soil. All right? It's good stuff. Anyway, that's how we're concluding the good news segment. Go watch The Rocketeer. It'll make you smile at the very least. Also, Jennifer Connelly's in it, and she's very hot. The end.
Riverboat Jack is coming to town. All the viewers gather around. Twitch and YouTube and swishy streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, gaming, plenty more. Your sense of fashion you'll adore. So